Some words are like poison wrapped in sugar. They sound sweet enough to let your guard down, but hidden inside is the sting of truth you might wish you'd seen sooner. In relationships, what a man says can often reveal more about who he truly is than a dozen grand gestures or 100 charming smiles. The problem? Many women ignore these red flag phrases. They don't want to seem too sensitive or too dramatic. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The words a man chooses are tiny windows into his values, his mindset, and exactly how he will treat you in the long run. Sometimes they're not just warning you. They're screaming at you to run before your energy is drained, your self-esteem is chipped away, and your spirit starts to feel smaller. Now, I'm not talking about expecting perfection. No one gets every word right. But there's a difference between a clumsy slip of the tongue and a glimpse into a man's deeply rooted beliefs. If you listen closely, you'll realize that his words often tell the full story, long before his actions do. And if you learn to catch them early, you can save yourself months, even years of frustration, disappointment, and pain. Sometimes these warning signs slip out in heated arguments, when emotions spill over and masks fall away. Other times they arrive disguised as jokes or framed as just being honest. But the delivery doesn't matter. Whether loud or subtle, the effect is the same. They reveal that this man will never value you the way you deserve to be valued. And sadly, so many women are taught to excuse it. We hear, that's just how men talk, or don't make such a big deal out of it. But the truth? When you minimize those signs, you end up tolerating what you should have walked away from. Your instincts are sharper than you realize. The trick is to trust them. When a phrase sticks in your mind, when it leaves a shadow in your chest or makes you feel small, that's not an overreaction. That's a warning. If you've ever walked away from a conversation replaying the moment in your head, thinking, did he really just say that to me? That is your cue to pay attention. In this discussion, we're going to uncover 5 specific things a man might say that should stop you in your tracks. These aren't harmless misunderstandings. They are verbal fingerprints of deeper problems: control, manipulation, emotional immaturity, and an inability to see you as an equal. By the end, you won't just recognize these phrases instantly. You'll know exactly how to protect yourself when you hear them. Because the right man, he will never make you question your worth. The wrong man, he'll reveal exactly who he is if you're willing to listen. And when that moment comes, you won't waste energy arguing. You won't explain or defend. You'll simply walk away with your dignity intact. Before we dive in, if you value real, unfiltered advice that protects your heart, your peace, and your energy, make sure you tap subscribe right now. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss these powerful conversations, the kind that can save you from heartbreak before it happens. This community is here to keep you strong, and your support helps us grow and reach more women who need to hear this. All right, let's get into the first phrase, and I guarantee you've heard it before. When a man says, "You're too sensitive," it might seem harmless. You might even laugh it off. But here's the truth. It's one of the biggest red flags you can hear. This isn't about you being overly emotional. It's about him dodging responsibility for his words or actions. When you tell someone that something hurt you, you're offering them a chance to see your vulnerability, to build trust. A man who respects you will take that moment seriously. But if instead he flips it back on you, making you feel like you're the problem, that's not just unfair, it's manipulative. And if it happens more than once, it's a pattern. At first, it might be over something small, a joke you didn't find funny. But give it time and it spreads. Soon, he's dismissing your feelings about bigger issues. Each time you try to speak up, the same phrase gets used to shut you down. Eventually, you stop speaking up at all. And when your voice is gone, so is a part of you. The danger is that once you start doubting your own emotions, you tolerate things you never would have accepted before. You stay in situations that chip away at your happiness because you've been trained to believe you are the problem. But you're not. Your feelings are valid. Your boundaries are valid. And anyone who truly cares for you will treat them that way. So, when you hear you're too sensitive early on, take note. Ask yourself, is this the kind of man you want to trust your heart with? Or is it smarter to walk away before you lose your voice, your confidence, and your peace? Remember this. Sensitivity is not weakness. It's empathy. It's emotional intelligence. And the right man will see that as one of your greatest strengths. Second, when a man says no one else would want you, It's not just a nasty comment. It's a trap. This isn't love talking. It's control wrapped in cruelty. It's meant to plant one poisonous idea in your mind, that you're only worthy because he tolerates you. The goal? To make you believe you're lucky to have him, even if he treats you badly, because according to him, there's no one else out there who'd want you. And here's the truth he doesn't want you to know. That's a lie. A calculated, deliberate lie. Men who say this aren't speaking from love. They're speaking from fear. Fear that if you saw your worth clearly, you'd walk away and never look back. Sometimes it slips out like a joke. He might laugh, act like it's just playful teasing. But those words don't just vanish. They stick, they echo, and they slowly eat away at your confidence. The more you hear them, the more you start to believe them. You stay longer than you should. You second-guess yourself. And that's exactly the grip he wants to have over you. Control through insecurity. The most dangerous part? You start to measure yourself by his words, not the truth. You forget who you were before him. Your dreams, your laughter, your friendships, the life you built. You start thinking, maybe he's right. And that's when the trap closes. But remember this. Love doesn't shrink you. It doesn't make you doubt your value. A man who genuinely loves you would never make you question your worth. He'd protect it. And pay attention to when this phrase pops up. Often, it's right after you set a boundary or call out his behavior. Instead of respecting you, he uses this line to make you too insecure to follow through. That's not an accident. It's a tactic. So if you ever hear it, don't try to reason with him. Don't defend yourself. Just remember, you were valuable before he walked into your life, and you'll be valuable long after he's gone. Then do the most powerful thing you can do. Walk away without looking back. Third, when a man says, "You're lucky I put up with you," don't be fooled. That's not irritation talking. That's arrogance. It's entitlement. It's him rewriting the truth so he's a hero for tolerating you, instead of appreciating you for everything you bring to the relationship. This flips reality upside down. Instead of gratitude for having you, he wants you to believe you're a burden he graciously endures. It's not just condescending. It's a subtle way to lower your value while inflating his own. Over time, you start feeling like you should be endlessly grateful just for his presence, no matter how little respect or kindness he gives in return. You'll hear this line in arguments or any time you express a need, a boundary, or even mild dissatisfaction. The unspoken message is, "You're difficult, and you should thank me for staying." That's emotional manipulation in its purest form. The danger is how it burrows into your mind. You start wondering if you really are too much, too hard to love. You start overcompensating, working overtime to earn his approval. Meanwhile, he's doing nothing to meet you halfway, because he's convinced you already owe him. And here's what makes it even more toxic. It erases all the good you bring. He ignores your kindness, your loyalty, your effort. Instead, he magnifies your flaws, real or imagined, to keep the upper hand. That's not partnership. That's someone keeping you small so he can feel big. The truth is, real love isn't about someone putting up with you. It's about someone cherishing you, flaws and all, and knowing they're lucky to have you. If a man doesn't see that, then you need to see it for yourself. Because you're not lucky he's putting up with you. He's lucky you gave him a place in your life at all. Before we move on, if this is striking a chord, make sure you hit subscribe right now. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next part of this series. The kinds of conversations that don't just open your eyes, they protect your heart. Every subscription helps us reach more. For when a man says, "If you love me, you'd," and then fills in the blank with a demand, stop right there. You're looking straight at manipulation in action. This is not romance. This is not affection. This is a guilt trip dressed up as love. It's emotional blackmail at its finest. He's not asking. He's tying your love to obedience, as if your feelings only count if you prove them on his terms. Suddenly, love isn't about care, loyalty, or the effort you already give. It's about how well you can twist yourself to meet his demands. Sometimes it's small. If you loved me, you'd skip seeing your friends tonight. Other times it's deeply serious. If you loved me, you'd do this thing that goes against your values. Different situation, same toxic core. If you don't give me what I want, you must not love me. The danger is subtle but real. Over time, you start to believe that saying no means you're cold, uncaring, or selfish. You shrink your comfort zones. You blur your boundaries. And every time you give in, the next "if you loved me" comes easier for him to say, and harder for you to resist. The truth? Healthy love respects individuality. It doesn't punish you for having your own needs, opinions, or boundaries. A man who loves you will never demand you betray yourself just to prove you care. He'll see your boundaries as part of who you are, not an obstacle to overcome. So if a man tries to hold your love hostage with conditions, step back and take a hard look at the bigger picture. Love without respect is just control in disguise. And the moment you see that clearly, you reclaim your power. And you realize that walking away is an act of love for yourself. Fifth, when a man says, "You'll never find someone like me," it might sound like confidence, but it's really arrogance wrapped in fear. It's a scare tactic. The message underneath is simple. I'm the best you'll ever have, so you'd be foolish to leave. Men often pull this line when they sense you're unhappy setting boundaries or even thinking of walking away. It's not about winning your heart. It's about keeping your mind trapped. Instead of asking what's wrong, they push you to imagine a bleak, lonely future without them. They want fear to keep you where love no longer can. But here's what he hopes you forget. You lived without him before, and you can live without him again. Yes, you may never find someone exactly like him, and that's the point. You'll find someone better in all the ways that matter. Someone who respects you, cherishes you, and never uses fear to keep you close. This phrase works by shrinking you while inflating him. He puts himself on a pedestal, acting like being with him is some rare privilege you'll never have again. But love is not a favor. You're not lucky he chose you. The luck is mutual when it's real. So if you hear, "You'll never find someone like me," flip it in your mind. Good. You don't want someone like him if like him means manipulation, arrogance, and control. You deserve someone you choose every day because they make you happy, not because they made you afraid to leave. The right man won't warn you about what life will be without him. He'll focus on making the present so good that you'd never want to go. And if fear is his biggest weapon, then you've already outgrown him. Before we wrap up, if this conversation has opened your eyes even a little, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss these real, unfiltered discussions that protect your heart and sharpen your instincts. Your support helps this community grow, and together we can make sure more women spot. In the end, a man's words are never just words. They're little windows into his mind, his values, and exactly how he'll treat you when the charm fades. When you hear things like "you're too sensitive," "no one else will want you," "you're lucky I put up with you," "if you loved me," or "you'll never find someone like me," don't brush them off. Those aren't harmless throwaway lines. They're patterns. They're warning flares. And if you ignore them, you risk stepping into years of self-doubt, control, and emotional exhaustion. A healthy relationship will never make you feel small, guilty, or trapped. The right man will protect your heart, not play games with it. He'll see your worth without making you earn it, respect your boundaries without punishing you for having them, and love you without conditions, ultimatums, or threats. So when you hear any of these phrases, don't explain, don't justify, and for your own peace, don't wait around hoping he'll change. Listen to what his words are really saying and walk away with your head high, because your peace, your self-respect, and your happiness are worth far more than staying in a relationship that feeds on fear and control. And before you go, if this spoke to you, if you felt that little click of truth in your chest, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the notification bell. Every conversation here is designed to make you stronger, clearer, and more confident in your worth. Your support keeps this community growing, and together we can make sure no woman settles for less than she deserves ever again.